there. Beautiful sunset. Yeah.
We're nearly closer to the
Yeah, the one that. So that was nearly a really bad day, but it was a fantastic holiday. So after that, we made sure.
She had a feeling to go back.
She had a feeling, Alice. Yeah. She had a feeling. We were going to walk along the beach and we were only out about. We was out about half an hour, which was going to be longer actually, but that's how it came about.
Yeah, and the weather was.
No, it's all right. No, in fact, I've been needing to. I wish I had a couple of it. What would you call the school name?
Sure.
David Fulmer.
You didn't have a middle name?
No.
He was an engineer, wasn't
It was, actually, my father worked for Bannister Walton. He worked for a place called Redpath Brown Steel Mill in Trafford Park. Because, actually, we lived in Trafford Park when we were young lads. When we were born in Trafford Park. And Trafford Park had 4 streets and 2 avenues. And the avenues were very broad, and they was called First Avenue and Second Avenue. The streets were called number 1 Street, 2, 3 and 4 Street.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we lived in 4th Street.
Do you remember the number?
No. There was only about, I think there was about 10 or 12 houses, that's all, in each street. There'd be 10 in each street, 20 with a double roll, right? And he worked for Redpath Brown, and then Bannister Walton opened, and he went to Bannister Walton. And he was a steel sawyer. He used to cut the steel into lengths. He used to get the orders, and they'd say 6x3 joists or 2x3s, and then they give him all the measurements, and he used to put those there. And then our Jimmy used to work there, and Arthur worked there. And I worked my mother wouldn't let me go in them sort of places, and I was working in anything. I worked for the pet stores. That was the job when I got married. I worked in the pet stores.
Was that Tib Street? Was that on Tib Street?
No, it was at corner Charles Street, Oxford Road, corner Charles Street and Oxford Road. It was facing the Regal Cinema. It was
what was the name of the shop? Do you remember?
Kremner's Pet Store, that's it.
Kremner's?
Kremner's. Kremner is Austrian Jew I worked for. And actually I worked for him before the pet store. He had a radio place in Shoedill. And in this radio place, he had Italian lad and another English lad and myself. And another fellow that used to cut panels for radios, and it was done in ebonite, black ebonite. And he used to cut all the panels. That was his job all day. Then we used to build the kits of radios with all parts, and he used to build the kits. Well, myself and Louis the Italian.
Louis Goldster?
No, Italian lad called Louis De Rolli. Louis Serdi was his name, but he wanted to be called De Rolli because of the big family.
De Rolli?
De Rolli.
De Rolli.
And his name was Serdi, actually. Louis Serdi. And we used to make loudspeakers.
Yeah.
Well, in them days, you had a radio, and the radio would measure, say, about 12 inches in length, and depth would be about 8 inches. The speaker used to be about 3 foot, about a yard, 3 big speakers, the little radio. Now the speakers were made up of, it was like an horseshoe, magnet, like a magnet, with a pin up the middle between the 2 shoes like that. And that had screws on. And then we used to make a frame with canvas, fix it onto this, and then fix this horseshoe effort on. And then we used to dump it, and it made it like a drum top. See, and that we used to use. That's right. No, it was called amalacetate, the dope, and we used to dope them with that. And then when we fixed all that up, we used to fix them in fancy cabinets, you know. And these fancy cabinets, as I say, it stood next to the radio, you plugged it in, and that's how it used to be. So I worked for Trember in the radio, and he had 3 sons, they were always robbing him, left and right, and he had he had 3 shops, and they were robbing him left and right. And one day he came in and said to the lot of them, he said, right, the business is yours. I'm signing it all over to you. You can rob one another. And he said, I'm having nothing more to do with it. So he opened a pet store on Charles Street on Oxford Road, facing the Lidl Cinema. And he took his eldest daughter with him. He took his eldest daughter and a young daughter with him. And he took me. He said, would you like to work for me? I said, I'm already working for you. He said, you're in a pet store. So I said, yes. So he took me to the pet store. Now before Cremner, I wasn't married then when I was at Cremner's. And before I went to Cremner's, I worked in what they call Swallow Hosiery on Oxford Road.
Was that your first job?
No, I had loads of jobs.
How old were you when you started work?
Well, I started part-time when I was 12 years old.
Part-time doing what?
I used to go to a chap I lived in Fallowfield then when I was there.
Did you? What was the address there? Do you remember that?
Where?
In politics.
Bidford Avenue. Bidford.
Bidford. What number?
And it was, I don't know the name, and it was a cul-de-sac, and it was on Back Lane.
Yeah.
And the back garden, you could go out the back garden, and then there was a passageway, because there was some better houses. We were in a corporation house, but there were some better houses, which were bought after the back of the house. But you could go out of our back garden, we had a gate in the back, and you come into a passageway, and you could put through these houses. And when you put through 2 of them, 2 roads they were called, streets or avenue. When you put through there, you were at Manchester City ground.
Oh, yeah.
See? And what we used to do when we lived there, down Platt Lane used to come trams with all the supporters.
Yeah.
And they used to park off Platt Lane until, they run down the track there, and they stopped there until the match was over. They all come tearing out, you see. But a lot of fellas used to come on bikes. So we used to put a note on the back door. You bought a bike stored in our back, you see. 3 pence for the day. Threatens, it was called then. Threatens,
yeah.
And if somebody was next to you put threatens, people took it, you see. Competition, like, all the back out. So we used to get about, say, 8 or 9 bikes.
Yeah.
But when the trams started coming in with the supporters, as soon as all the supporters come, we put the kettles on when it at all. Then we used to run out to the tram, and the tram diamond conductors gave us the cans, and we brewed up for them and supplied them with milk. And then we used to charge them for filling milk and the milk stayed tons. And we used to make that every Saturday.
Yeah.
You see.
What year would that be then? How old were you?
12. 12.
12. What year were you born?
13. 12.
What year were you born?
13. 1913.
1913. And you straight about 1925.
Before the general strike.
Yeah.
Then, as I say, what I used to do then, when I was going to school, I got a job. I went to school, I lived in Platt Lane, and I went to school across Winslow Road. And it's called St. Edmund's School, a Catholic school, it's called St. Edmund's. And then the shop on the main road, there was one of James Outfitter, and it was called Armistead. Mr. Armstrong. And next to the shop was a billiard hall, where all the afterwards used to go.
Jimmy, he was good at billiard.
Yeah. No, the best of the lot, the champion billiard player, and snooker, George Buckley, he did up and champion. Do anything with the ball.
Did you see him play snooker?
See him play snooker.
What ranks did he got?
Oh, he got blades of 70, 75. Oh, fantastic. And they used to play golf. There's a game called golf what they play. They put them in certain holes.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 or 3 games what they And what's another thing I was going to say? So this shop, Mr. Armstrong, I went there and I don't know, I think he put a note in the window. He wanted the lad to run errands, so I went there. So I got the job running errands. So, first of all, I used to go in at the morning, mop his shop floor out. I wasn't a very big shop, mop his shop floor, and he was a gent that's outfit, you know. Yeah. And he used to get customers from Victoria Park, which was across the road, you know. And Victoria Park then was the elite. Yeah. You know, that's where the young went. That's like a posh garden, yeah. And then he used to say to me, I'd go in the morning, clean up, and he said, will you call in tonight when you leave school? Come in, I want you to take a parcel into Victoria Park. Only in Victoria Park, he used to take parcels there. Plus, he used to get a tip off him, you know, about tuppence, you know. Penny a tuppence off him, he did a penny a tuppence, you know. And it was money then, and he used to get tips like that. And Armstrong, what did he pay? He paid me about a shilling a week, I think, or 2 shillings. A shilling a week, I think, I got. And I used to do it for my mum, you know. Yeah. And
what was her name? Was it Margaret?
Oh, my mum.
Was it Gertrude?
My dad used to call her Gert, but her name was Florence. So he had 2 names, Florence.
Gertrude Florence. What was a maiden name?
Well, that's what I've been trying to find out, and I used to think it was called Fishwick. But our Gertie told me her name was actually because she lived with Gertie a lot of part of the days, you know. Yeah. And Gertie thought she should be drawing a pension. She said no, she wasn't 60. She was not entitled to a pension. And Gertie thought she was, because she reckoned our age is up. Yeah. You see. So Gertie wrote off the little Somerset House. Mm. And she got her name back was Friskin, not Fishwick.
Friskin? F-R-I-S-K-I-A. Friskin.
Friskin.
And that was her maiden name?
And that was her maiden name.
Well, where was she born? Do you know that?
Now, we was always led to believe that she was Irish. Yeah. But when she was a little girl, she was taken from England and put in a convent in Ireland.
Mm. Well, Southern Ireland, Era.
No, I think it was. No, it's Southern because it's County Wicklow, I think it was.
Oh, the Wicklow, well, that's south of Dublin, that.
It was Southern Ireland. Yeah. And she was put in a convent, brought up in a convent. Mm. And then when she grew up, she wasn't not a preaching nun, a working nun. And then
she was a working nun, was she? You know her?
Yeah.
Was she?
For a while after the girl, and then she got a job with a doctor. And then she left the number and went in the service with the doctor. Mm. And my father met her there.
This is in England? Oh, no, she's still
No, in Ireland. My father was over there.
You don't met her in Ireland?
When did he meet her? It was... I was born in 1913. I don't know if it was later. I don't know if it was in England or when it was in Ireland, but he was working for a doctor when he met her. Yeah. And I thought he married her, you see. And then we went living, as I say, in Suffolk Park. And that's where I was born there. Yeah.
Well, you're not the oldest, though. You're the oldest?
No.
Oh, I didn't think you were.
He did the oldest.
Tell us what's the family tree there?
The family tree, the eldest was, no, a lad called Ernest we had. Ernest. Now, they never speak much about it, because when he was a baby, he got meningitis. And you know what meningitis is? It was backward. Yeah. And it never worked, and he lived to about 40, I think, 41. That was old. He was very bad. It was Ernest, and then James.
Yeah, I've got Jim.
And James is the eldest.
Yeah. Arthur's on. Yeah.
Yeah. There was James.
Testing 6th of March, Sunday, 1988, as far as we know. Testing 6th of March, Sunday, 1988, as far as we know. Now, here comes the dear old duck, already, the dear old wife. And here comes the little darling with a cub's hat all over his face. This size.
What have you got to say, Alex?
Yeah, come on, say something to yourself.
Come on, what are you going to say? Come on. You know the checkerboard. Come on. And say something that's really wise.
What's the most intelligent?
Say something like this. Hello!
This chamber, Devon Dining, you know that one?
Julie,
you know that one. Jules, do you know that? Well, put it on the table this time. Come on, quick.
Okay. In his chamber, dead and dying, stood an old man lying there. He sat there, putting his clothes on, sat standing on the ground. The rain was snowing very fast, and there wasn't a soul inside to know people round about where there was a terrible sight.
Said it was great. Who taught you that?
Yes,
Who taught me that?
the dad.
And who taught me that?
Go on.
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy, where did you get it from?
Hello there. We used to go, we went to a fair, once, and a market was after Ilkirk Street. And on this market, there was a nigger. And
A what?
Negro type.
A Negro type man, dressed in all his outfit, dressed in all the outfit. He was dressed in this outfit. And he was dancing round waving this club. And he was singing. And our Jimmy followed him nearly all afternoon to learn his song. And it was Humbug was the wender, Tika wender. Yeah, na na na, yeah, na na na, was a googly, na na na.
Hey, this is great, man.
And when I
That's Red Indian.
when I was Jimmy learned that, he does that.
Oh, right, yeah. So Jim was always into all these fancy,
Always chap, they bought a piano across the road.
Wait, you'll get your brains from, Jimmy.
They bought a piano across the road from us, some wealthy people. And he was having a son taught, and he was a friend of ours, Jim. When his mother and father were, we used to get Jim in. Jimmy played. And this son was being taught, and now Jimmy sat down. He played a mouth organ, and he picked the piano up straight away, and he was playing piano. And he started playing the hooks. What do you want to preach in?
Oh, this is a musical bit.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, it's broke off an outcome. He's only out better than playing again.
Well, there's Jimmy and Arthur, Penny Whistle or a mouth organ, I have no ear at all for music.
You can play the Jews harp.
No, but he had an eye for the ladies. Tell me when you met, tell me when you met Alice. How did that go on?
Brits, wasn't it? Wasn't it Mary?
Yeah. Well, the way it all started, our Arthur's convinced he got me into this, and he didn't. And he convinced me after. The way I met Alice was a simple reason. On a weekend, I used to go hiking, and I used to get the train with a couple of lads. Well, we all used to gather at Piccadilly Station, and we got this special train in the morning that took us to Marple. So we used to get a return ticket on the train, Marple and back. And when we arrived at Marple,
You didn't throw your tickets away then, did you?
Pardon?
You didn't throw your tickets away.
When we arrived at Marple, we used to walk from Marple up to Hayfield. And at Hayfield, we used to have lunch, pack sandwiches. And at Hayfield, we used to go in a big old barn place, and have a sing-song. And then from there, we used to walk from there up what they call Jacob's Ladder to eat.
Oh, Jacob's Ladder. I've never been on that yet,
Yeah, it's only a big hill.
Oh, no, it's neither.
And at the time, there was one chap who always came with us, and he had a banjo. And he played it all the way. And when we were going down Jacob's Ladder, he played it walking up Jacob's Ladder. Encouraging us on lad used to play it. And we get to Edale, and we'd have a drink there. We'd go and have a drink. And then we'd walk round Edale to Castleton, and then come back by Castleton.
Do you remember the names of the pub you did there? Can you remember the names of the pub where you had a drink?
No, I can't. The only pub that stands out in my mind was the Marple one. It was called the Jolly Sailor.
Oh, I know it, on the lights, I know it.
That's right.
Yeah, sorry,
well, if you go in there now, I went in there with your mum and was coming up here one day, one Sunday, and I went in there and I was roaring laughing. I just thought, bang. And I just burst out laughing. The mum said, what are you laughing at? I said, listen to the music. So she listened. She said, the 30s, I said, they were playing this when I was here hiking. And it was all the same tune. And I knew everything was. And Jesus Punch.
That's done that.
And we called it twice there just to see it. And it was fantastic. But as I say, we used to go to Castleton, and then make our way along the top and come back down by Jacob. And then we come back to Hayfield. And then from Hayfield, we used to come back to Marple. And then we get back to Marple, we'd be there about, say, 5 o'clock, 5:30. And there was a big barn there where we all used to go. And there was a piano in there. And they used to sell cups of tea. Because we'd drink up and eat up by then. You could get a sandwich. So we used to go in there and have a cup of tea. And then anybody who could play the piano, played it. Well, there was one lad that used to be, he knocked about with me a lot. He was called Jack Daniels. He was a goalkeeper, actually. A part-time goalkeeper, Stockport. And he played the piano, fantastic. And he was in a good business, And in business, Jack Daniels, he used to go to Pates and supply all the games and marquees and all that is for him. And that's his job, he used to do that. Well, we go dancing there. Now, it's, I think it was 5:45, I'm not sure now whether it was 5:45, 6 o'clock. A train used to come from Manchester to Marple, only Marple, and they used to call it the Honeymoon Express. And the reason they call it that, all girls used to come and they meet the boyfriends.
All these young chicks.
And get in with boyfriends. And anyway, they'd come in and they'd sit there and we'd all be having our tea and that sandwich with them. Daniel would be playing the piano and they'd start dancing. So one man said to me, he said, see that bird over there, Dave? He says, who wants to play the dance? He's on her own. I said, she's with a friend, mate. He said, well, a friend just got up to dance. So what? The cross we had a dance with Mary Flynn.
I thought it was that, yeah.
And then, so I got chatting with her, so I said...
Alice wouldn't be left sitting there, would she?
So I got chatting with her. When she got chatting, right, she said... I said, where do you come from? She said, Bedford. I said, oh, I know Bedford. Where do you come from? Derby Street. Oh, I know that. I said, I'm not far from you. I said, I'm in Thomas Street. I said, oh. So she said, do you know many people? I said, well, I know all the lads, on Thomas Street. I said, well, she said, I'm quoting. I said, I'm not looking for a fella. She said,
is that Albert?
She said, I've fallen out with him and I thought I'd come with my friend up here. She said, I've only come with my friend. So I said, oh, that's all right. And that's to me, I said, I'm not looking for you. I said, so we started chatting. So when we started chatting, so I said, well, I'll see you home, So we danced and we got very well. Of course, I had a few dances, but then me and Daniel sat with another friend. Daniel took a friend home, and I took Mary home. And then
Who did Jack know?
Her friend.
Oh, a friend.
She was with a girl.
It wasn't Alice.
No. She was on her own, with a friend.
Wow.
So then she said, where do you go dancing? Oh, I said, everywhere, and of course, the place where everybody, if you went to the Ritz, you would have danced that with it.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the
Ritz was great.
And the next best to it was the Plaza.
Oh, yeah.
The Plaza was there.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Plaza was the second best. But I said, well, I go to the racing, I go to the plaza, I go to Walsh's, Walsh's round the corner from where she lived. And she said, oh, well, I go to the race. She said, we go afternoon, tea dancing and all that. She said, will you be there on Tuesday or Wednesday? I said, oh, probably will, you know. Probably come down. She said, oh, my sister's all goes there a lot. She said, Nally introduced you to my sister. So when I went by, it was Alice. And now Arthur came with me, you know. And he said, oh, well, that's good, you know. I didn't even married Arthur, you know. So I said, you're not married Arthur. He said, well, you've got married. I said, no, she got twice. So I said, I'm for this one, mate. So I said, right. So I bumped into Alice. So I asked for the water at home, and of course, Alice lied. She said to me, do you drink? Smoke? I said, no, I don't smoke. And I didn't smoke that day. And I used to drink every weekend when I had the money. And every Friday I was blind drunk. So she said, oh, I've had the experience with men, they're all drinkers. That's my idea is that I'm to drink at boozers, you know. So I said, oh, you won't find me that way. So anyway, I took it home. I promised to meet her again at the Ritz, you see, and I started meeting at the Ritz, and then saved up a few bob, and I thought I'd take her out. So I took her out to the Ritz, you see, and bought coffee and everything. And then we were getting really, you know. And then one of the lads at work, I worked for the radio for them, Louis Goldstone, he liked it a lot, didn't he?
He was Jew, wasn't he?
He thought the world of it, Louis Goldstone.
Even though it's rich.
He thought the world of it. And he said to me,
The bigger nose.
he said she's a lovely lady. He said she's a lovely lady, you know. So when Louis Goldstone, the Jewish soup kitchen, we had private dancing there, he got me 2 tickets for me and Alice. And any big private dance, he used to give me the ticket, you know. Yeah, it was well for you know. And he used to think the world of her. So anyway, we were going out for a while, and I fell out with her. So I fell out and said, I'm not seeing her anymore, so I didn't see her for quite a while. And what we're doing then was writing notes to one another. A girl at the corner saying, oh, Burby Street, Stanley Street, when I was Louis Goldstone said to me, you're a mum. So Louis Goldstone took her out for a couple of nights. He said, all she's talking about is you, he said. He said, why did you get back there? I said, well, I don't know. He said, don't go dear. I said, but a mother hates a sight, man. And I couldn't go there, Alice, because a mother hates a sight. And she called me a dago. Well, I looked like a carrier.
I've seen your picture. We got your photograph. You look like a dago.
So she said, so what I did, I got a little girl and I wrote a note, give her, and one take it to number 7 Burby's, the 32 thing. And then Alice would do her note and get that. And that went on for about 2 weeks, passing notes. And then one day, I caught her coming out of work in Tipsley, she worked. And I worked in Shoe Hill, felt that I go down and say, and I thought, she started and I put it on room to her, and I made it up. So I said, this stupid out here. So we carried on like that. So, and then what happened then? Oh, we were going to the race, and then I got our half in trouble because his wife worked in the middle. And the middle girl was there. Some of them took Wednesday afternoon off, went to the race. The team. They'd seen her husband dancing with a blonde, which was me, with Alice. And they said it was Arthur. We looked that much alike, you see. And I caught her peeping round the corner of the arch and witnessed his wife when Dylan was coming out. And when she spotted it was me with Alice, she shut off quick. And I told her, I said, your wife this afternoon. She said, where? I said, she's round the arch looking for you coming out with a blonde. Because he told me what, you know.
What was the name of Arthur's wife?
Lily.
Lily? Mind you, I confused that because there was Auntie Lily, which was Eccles' sister, who gassed herself.
Oh, no, this was Lily.
Yeah, what was the story?
And She was like,
No, not blood. It was, well, go on, you tell me. Auntie Lily cast herself. Who was she married to?
Graham.
Who?
Graham, I don't know, never knew his second name. Graham, and he lived in,
But it was Auntie Ethel's sister, wasn't it?
that's right, yeah.
Not a blood relation, is what I'm saying.
Graham. Oh,
It got to
do you know this? Do you know this Graham? You know this Graham? He was, in them days, what we call a gentleman. He was gentle in his ways, and he was a beautiful speaker. And his family come from place up north, seaside, but I can't think of it now.
Fleetwood.
No, nice place in Fleetwood. It's all the time, just it's a seaside place, anyway. And he came from a nice family. And of course, he married Lily. Never satisfied. When he was in the army, she was going out with all sorts of fellas. She went out with Arthur once, and Arthur was married. And she knew him married. But she fancied a fella, she went with him. And that was Arthur. And she was a lovely looking girl. And our Arthur was Arthur. Our Arthur's wife looked like a Spanish senorita. Oh, with black hair, beautiful. But they both had the same type of temper, flared up in a minute, both of them, And it's shocking, because well, she was the same when he went in the army. She was going over fellas' airmen from the airport. And she went with one fellow, and she thought a lot of him. She had him staying at their house. When he would come and stay the night, they go dancing at the Sharpton. He was dancing there every Friday night, he stayed the night there. And somebody wrote to Arthur, told him, he got compassionate leave to come and sort it out. And he thought he sorted it out, And this fellow told Lily how much he loved her, he lived in London, and see her out, marry her, right? And so, when Arthur come, he sorted it all out. He went back and, all the German was. When he went back, she was really cool again. And so what's actually happened? And her friend, Lily's friend, was Ethel. Her and Ethel used to go out a lot together. And Ethel got killed in the war. And her and Ethel used to go out. So when she come round to Arthur, when the war was over, Arthur came home. And he gave Lily, by then things were fled there, and he wanted a few things for the house. So he gave her a picture of about 60 pounds, which was a lot of money. He gave her that. 2 days after she floated, she went away with it. Got away with it. Left 2 kids. Alan and Christine. Left both of them. So,
how old was I?
Only a metal came round, and she said to Arthur, where's the word? She said, what are you doing about it? He said, I'm getting ready for school. But he did all sorts of jobbing, bricking and all that, building.
Yeah.
So Arthur got ready for school, took him to school. So don't bother Arthur, I'll see to them, I'll see to school. You get your breakfast and get to work, and I'll take them. She used to pick them up. And when she picked them up, she made him a meal. When he came in that night, there was a meal waiting for him from work, and that went on for a few years. And in the end, then he decided to move in with her. And he moved in with the 2 kids, and she had 3 children. So she had 2 girls. So he moved in, and so there was 4 kids there. So he kept her for all of them. Well, they call him Dad, the other 2 girls,
Yeah.
Oh, she got.
Oh, so the 2 girls were hers from another.
From an husband, got killed.
And have they got children? Have they got children between them?
One now, Peter.
Oh,
I've got
how
one
old is he?
Peter.
How old will he be now then?
Oh, Peter, what's it now? 20. Really?
Really
I think, about 20, 30, that's it.
Peter who?
Old man. Peter Oldman. Arthur's lad.
Peter who?
Arthur's lad. Didn't he go up to America?
No, that was Arthur.
Gertie's lad.
Is it?
Gertie's lad, not America. He went to
I know she Where is it?
Australia.
David.
David, Australia.
I remember seeing him flying
Have
down
I got
Washington.
another cousin that I've never known? I've never heard of him.
Yeah, David and Frankie.
What relation would he be to Julian and Alex?
Who?
Cousin. Second cousin. David. It's David Holman.
David would have been my cousin. So it would be
Second cousin. Would be your second cousin.
Not David Holman.
No.
That's Gertie's lad, David. So she was married to Gertie
So.
Whiteley.
Whiteley.
So
David Whiteley.
well,
David Whiteley.
Gertie's Whiteley.
what's Arthur and Ethel's child called then?
Peter Holman.
Peter Holman.
Oh yeah,
That's
Peter Holman, yeah.
Peter Holman.
And where does he live now?
Definitely Road.
Arthur does.
Yeah.
Where's Peter?
Just at the top of it, nothing.
What does he do now, Peter?
He decorated.
Is it? No.
Not with his dad, it was.
No,
Put windows in, does he?
Oh.
Being low the train.
Doesn't put windows in.
He worked for the corporation, which was a good job. And a lad had flats under him on the corporation. And written his book somewhere. And of course he was off work for a long while.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much compensation he got. He got a load of compensation because he bought a car about 2,000 quid at the time.
Yeah.
And he gets a pension.
Mm-hmm.
Pension's about £5 a week, I think. And he's left the corporation, but he still gets that pension. And he's working for the firm now.
260 a year.
Our Arthur's still doing jobs for neighbours, you know.
Yeah. Still not paying tax. I
He
wouldn't
passed his driving
want
test,
to
yeah.
Arthur to pay tax. It upset me.
Well, what I can't understand, man, the tax people, you read about these taxes, these people, getting everybody, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you never got Arthur. Do you know what he did? This is no
No,
lie.
it's the law in the Bible, you know.
But do you know what he did?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what Arthur did? They never got him.
Oh,
They never got him. He took the firm he was with and went working for himself. And he never put stamps on his car. And he never paid tax. And he did that for about 12 months. And then after 12 months, that's when you're on your own, start declaring tax, don't you?
well,
So he got a job with a firm, with a fella, and he had to have cards, so he went to the labourer for the card. Just went for the card. And where the other? He said, got none. He said, I lost some and I've got none. He said, well, what have you been doing for the last 12 months? You know. He said, I'm out of work, I've been doing nothing. He said, well, have you been drawing national insurance? He said, no. I said, well, what have you been living on? He said, well, I had savings. He said, I'm not going to no dull place and draw dull. He said, I don't believe in that. He said, I've been living off the savings. He said, but I'm coming to an end. He said, I've got to find a job. And he said, I've got a chance for a job and I want a card. And he got a card. And he started again then.
I don't believe in the goal.
He didn't believe in the dole. And now he sat there now.
Not alone.
He sat there in their house now, and the rent of their house is about 23 quid a week. This council office, you know, they're all too. And he pays about £8. He gets supplementary. He gets all supplementary. Because there's no savings. There's no savings. That's about a few dollars. I've actually got over 2,000.
Has he never married her?
No, I won't marry. He said, as long as I'm here, he said, and I don't marry her. He said, if I marry her, then she's part of me and she thinks she is, and she'll think she's the boss. He said, but now she can't do anything. If I don't like it and everything comes up, I can just walk out.
After all these years.
It's a big
He speaks a bit flippant. I don't think English. No, it's more like being married.
It's very attached to it, no doubt, because she has.
But it sounds like an old war.
No, it's
It's his way. He's always been a braggart. It makes a big show of everything. He's only got nothing, He's one of them big braggart. And he puts that on, if he comes in and now starts telling you about it's ridiculous. He ain't bad to speak. But that's how he is, you see. But he seems to be learning a bit of sense now, but he's 76, he took a long while, but he seems to be learning a bit of sense.
I'll tell you what, I reckon Ethel,
yeah.
And him, remember they did our wallpaper and they came up from Wales. I think they enjoyed that, didn't they?
Oh, they enjoyed it.
I remember Ethel saying she really enjoyed it.
Well, they don't go out, you see. And I've been over, and it takes them all the time to get him on holiday. When he goes on holiday, he goes to the grill in either a cottage or caravan. Go on, them sort of holidays. And if you do anything, now, when I told him I was going to Sheringham to move it back, and I was hoping to get Dumpy say he'd come, because the wall, tracks about it, it's Sheringham, I can't see me putting a piece of paper in full length.
He's nippy.
Yeah, he said, oh, come here, Dave. So I said, oh, well, when he came with me, he just cut these papers. And he don't, not like he cuts one, he cut about 5, And then I pasted it, and he put them up. And Sheringham was amazed when she could learn that night, dumb it. And she said, that would took me about 5 days. And they said, oh, fantastic. She says, oh, I'll have to treat it out. I said, you don't treat him at all. I said, you're my daughter, he's my brother, he's doing it. I said, I'll see to her. So I told him, at the end of that, I'll take him out. I took him to the mines for lunch. They really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I said I'll go again in summer, because I like it, take him out, because they do appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
And they really enjoy everything like that. If you used to say, come here for dinner, he'd enjoy it. He really enjoys everything. But you see, there's no transport.
Yeah.
There's no transport. I've got to supply transport, But I said I'd take it. Now, I've promised our Gertie. I've had Phyllis out, not had Gertie, and I phoned Gertie up the other day. Well, she phoned me on my birthday, when she did at her birthday. And I said, do you know Gertie? I said, I know you're on your own. She's got a son, Frank. I said, would you like a day out sometime when it's nice? I said, oh, I'll come pick you up sometime. So, committed there.
Good. That's good. Right. Okay. I'd love to see it, if you could bring any of them.
Well, our Sheridan said to me one day, I'd like to see someone like almost, the relatives like. So I said, right, I'll pick it up one day. So she came up. Did you come to my house? I said, no, I went to pick her up because we'd have been there. So I took her down to Phyllis and Arthur. Well, she knows Arthur, Phyllis. So I said this. And then I took her to see Gertie. And I took her to see our Edie. Oh, Edie was delighted. Sheridan was delighted with Edie, Said, I knew my dad had do.
I know, he said, what's to see you?
I could do sometime.
Yeah, well, I'll bring them here,
That's something,
Yeah.
And I said, I wanted our Edie, and she'd never availed, but they tried to leave the house.
Why?
They get raped in. All that.
Well, Sunday afternoon,
daylight. And once it goes dark, that's it. It's bolt bad, they won't open the door for nobody. And they haven't got a phone, you see. It's a woman 2 doors away, I think, because she's got a phone and a phone this week, so she can't get an email or something. And she's not easy on the phone. But, well, Gertie's got a phone now. And Phyllis has a phone, and Sean has a phone. So they both got a phone. Arthur's got one, but Peter's got one. So if I want, I can pull piece and it can come there and message to that. But as I say, when I took Terry now to Orso, loved those things. See that, I would either. I need to show them a few old photographs.
1988. Carry on.
This is the murder now. Julian wants to know about murderers, Julian Wood.
Well, I was 12 years old at the time, and I worked for this man. When I went to school, in the morning, before school, I used to go and mop his little shop out. He had a little gents shop where he sold gents shirts, dressing gowns, and they were all very expensive. And across the road from the main, it was on the main road, across the other side of the road was a place called Victoria Park. And they were all very big houses, and all the people who lived in them had a lot of money, and they used to buy off Mr. Armstrong. So I used to go, sometimes some people had ordered a dressing gown, and it asked me to deliver it into Victoria Park. So I used to go when I finished school at night time at 4 o'clock, and I'd deliver this parcel, and they used to give me a penny, a tip of a penny, and which was a lot of money in them days.
A penny? An old penny?
Old penny, one penny. 1D.
1D. Yeah, no 1P.
And then one morning when I went to work to go and mop the shop, all the police were there. And they said to me, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to the shop to see Mr. Armstrong." He said, "Oh, well, go home, sonny, you won't be seeing Mr. Armstrong today." So I said, "I'm going to school." So I went to school. And then at night time, when I came home, my father said, "Your Mr. Armstrong has been murdered."
Oh.
And he'd been killed with an axe today.
Oh.
Yeah. And
what he did, he lived over the shop. Flat over the shop. And they never found the murder, never to this day. Well, what he used to do, which was silly, next door to where Mr. Armstrong was a billiard hall. Well, billiard hall in them days, it was where all the outer works were. Yeah. It was called the Temperance Billiard Hall, Fallowfield, and Winter Road. And all the outer works used to gather there. And Mr. Armstrong used to walk in there when he wanted change, somebody in the shop, he wanted change, put his hand in his back pocket, pull out a roll of notes, take one off, a 10 bob or 10 shilling note if you want then, or a pound, and ask the man in the pool place who always had change, because all these afterwards only had change. They didn't have notes, so he got change. And these things, somebody had been watching him and seeing him, and they thought, right, the lad down, and they broke into him and he disturbed him and they killed him. And that's what they thought, and they never found the murder. And that was poor old Armstrong.
So you got your story now, Jules?
So that was it.
And your granddad was only 2 years older than you at the time.
And then
feel free to take a tissue, Julie.
And then that was in 1925. And then the year after, what you call 1926. And what do you think? The general strike all over the country. Everybody came out with a general world country strike. Everybody was out of work. So the brains of our family, which was James, we wanted money.
Yeah.
So
when it went cold now.
So he thought, how can we get some money? So Jim said, "Come with me." He got a bucket, he pushed it full of holes, and he said, "Right, Arthur, baby, come on with me." And off we went with the bucket, and there was a place called Stringers, where you hired hand carts, and it was 6pence a day. So that was 2.5 pence today. 6pence a day that was, for the hand cart. So we dragged the hand cart, we lived in Ardwick then. We dragged the hand cart down to Whitworth Street, and there was some hoardings there, and there was no cars like there is today, cars all over the road. You could pull it and push it anywhere. So we pushed the hand cart into a little street, back of where near the Ritz, where the Ritz is, and there was a canal there. And we got through the boardings there, pulled the boarding up, we got through there, and then Jimmy and Arthur just pulled the clothes off and dived in the canal and scooped the bouquet along the bottom of the canal, and I used to pull it up. We got coal that fell off the barges, and then we had bags.
It's built and died.
Oh,
You? Is that right?
I never went. No, I was scared.
What's in the picture? Was that Arthur?
No, Jimmy and Arthur. I was scared of water, and I used to stand on the canal bank, and there, hauling in, and I kept hauling in there. And Jimmy would go on the bridge there and dive off the bridge down. Handcarts and all sorts in the canal, you know. It's a wonder they didn't get knocked out. They come up with wheelbarrows and everything in the canal.
Did your mother know?
Of course they did.
They encouraged us.
We got some bags and we were bagging this coal. And there was a fella in Flat Lane from Hardwick to Flat Lane. That's a long way, you know.
And how old were you at the time?
Then I was 13. And then
He was 3 years old in June.
And our Arthur was 14, and Jimmy would be about 16 or 17, Jimmy. He was a man, you know, and the brain. And then when we bagged the coal, we used to push the anchor up to Flat Lane to the bakery called Armistead's. And it was on Flat Lane where they, you know, made bread and everything. We used to sell in the coal. Jimmy, you know, selling the coal.
How much?
Oh, I don't know. Jimmy was a bit. We didn't care. All we was going to when Jimmy got paid, all that hand down.
I think he wanted to shoot. I think he had a great time on Jimmy in the top line.
Yeah, he'd probably give us threepence or sixpence, you know, for helping. Then we'd pull the cart back.
What was he? I know Jimmy died. Before he died, did he ever get married, Jimmy?
No.
Well, I bet he had a lot of girls, is that right?
He had one girl and Adam married her.
Was he handsome like you?
Oh.
Was he handsome like
I'll
you?
show you a picture of him. I've got one.
Was he dark haired and handsome?
We were all alike.
It's not fair, is it? All family. All family, still star.
We were all alike.
I wonder who got handsome children.
How old was Jim when he died? How old was he?
Jimmy would be about
30s.
No, he lasted a bit of age. I think he was about 45 or something.
He never got married?
No, never got married, no.
Good age. 45.
So, anyway, God, you say.
But there was a girl, and she was beautiful, there's no doubt about it. She was. I thought Alison was this one, beauty. And she was a lady. And what she was.
A lady as well?
Yeah, she was an adopted girl. Some people that own the big grocery shop, and they had a car.
No, that should on there, was it?
They were wealthy people, they had a car. And they used to go for days out, you know, on a Sunday when the shop was closed, they used to go for days out. I think her name was Mary, no. And she met our Jimmy at dance and she fell for him. Oh, he treated her like a handbag, wasn't it? She was he did, honest. She used to come to our house and she'd say, "Hey, Jimmy," and I said, "No, he was boozing. And he was an alcoholic."
Oh.
He was alcoholic, Jimmy.
Sorry, Lamb, you don't stand
And so, anyway, he was a real alcoholic, Jim. So, this Mary came. Arthur and I used to sit and, you know, and say she used to sit with me mum, waiting for Jim to come down in socks and all that, and then Jim come in, he'd make a fuss of her for about 5 minutes, you know, and he'd going out and to go with him, you know, and then he used to take her dancing, and then during the interval, he'd go out for a pint and never come back. And if he'd left her, and his friend used to go with him, a fella called Arthur Belshaw, and Arthur Belshaw was left to take her home. Arthur Belshaw didn't marry her, don't think that. No, and he used to do that. He was a great fellow, Jim. And that went on. And then when Jimmy went to camp, he was in the Territorial Army. And he went to camp. And all he was concerned with going to camp, getting the money. they had competition, and the top gunner got a prize, and it was money prize. It was about £4 or £5. And for 4 years on the run, it was the top Lewis gunner.
Was it?
And 4 years on the run, he got this prize. And as I say, he had this girl, and one day she just left him and she met a nicer fella, fella that looked at her. And her mother, adopted mother, like her father, was very pleased. She married this fella. And her mother, adopted mother, like her father, was very pleased. She married this fella. And Jimmy said, "Who's her that broke his heart?" And he broke her. It was him, not her. He blamed her for it being a battle. It wasn't her, it was him. And then when the war broke out, he went for the call up. And he got rejected, and they had him in the territorial army. Top Lewis gunner.
Well, why wouldn't they take him?
And why they wouldn't take him? Because when he was a lad, he got knocked down in Trafford Park with one of the forward guards, and they should have got money for that, but they never did. They're not as clever as they are.
Well, they've had it now. Yeah, now.
And they broke all his jaw, it was all wired up. All his jaw was wired up with wires.
Oh, Uncle Jim.
And of course, when they got to know his history from the doctor, they rejected him. And still they'd had him in the territorial army, all that. He'd been in it for about 6 years. He should have been able to go right in the army.
I think so, yeah.
So, he wasn't there. And, of course, when the war broke out, I was working for Bannister's Watkins then, and I was on regular nights. And the building I worked in Bannister Watkins was a tin building. And in that sort of place, engineering, they do what they call riveting. And the lads, they put rivets in the red hot fire, and when they're red hot, they get a pair of tongs like that, and they throw them to a man, be about 20 yards, 30 yards, and he'd have a cup, a tin can, and he'd catch them like that. He'd have a pair of things and give them to the man who's riveting. Then the man would put them in the holes, girders, and rivet them, and that's how they used to work, This lad in front of the fire all the time. And they used to do all that, you see. Well, I worked nights there, so consequently, these fellas throw it sometimes. The tin building was full of holes. And when war broke out, the blackout come blackout building now, like that. So they had to close the night set down. So there was no night shift. And that made us all come out of work. See, so before I came out of work, they told us that they're closing in 3 weeks' time, and that there's no room for us on days. See, so I said, oh, okay. So then, at Barton, Ford had opening a place Rolls-Royce was opening a place to make Merlin engines for the Spitfire and that. And they was doing it on the Ford system, conveyor system, with Merlin engines. But the place had no machines in it, wasn't occupied, it was just a shell of a place, you see, and they were just putting the conveyor belts in and everything. But I heard it was taking men on, you see. So I went up there, and another lad that was working at Bannister with me, Arthur Massey. So we both went up at night. When we finished in the morning, we went up at morning. We finished at 8 o'clock, no, 7 o'clock, 7. So at 7 o'clock, when we both had a wash, got cleaned up, and then we went up to Bar, rolled up on it, we had push bags, rolled up to Bar, and see if we could get a job. Get our name down for when it started, you see. So a fellow said, you can start now as a janitor. I said, do you fancy that? I said, oh, aye. So I said to Massey, I said, what the hell's a janitor, do you know? He said, no, but I feel that, and I'm starting. So we both put our name down for janitors. We had no idea. But Americans, you say.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And then he said, you can start tomorrow. I said, well, we can't tomorrow. We're finishing work. So we finished on the Friday night, and we started on the Sunday. So I said, oh, treat this double time Sundays. They didn't give you double time. They give you single time plus a bonus. And the bonus was 10 shillings. But when we wrapped it up, on the double time, we lost about 2 bob, so we got the single time plus bonus Saturday and Sunday. So when we went in on the Sunday, so we seen a chap there and said, who do we see? He said, an Irishman. He said, an Irishman, it was Paddy Cregan or something like that. Go and see Paddy. And he said, so we went up to Paddy. He said, well, we're 2 men that's just started this morning. Like, I said, I'm David Foreman, Matty Harper. So he said, what do we do, Jonathan? He said, go in there. So he took us to a big cupboard, pulled the brush out of it. He said, there, you brush up. He said, that's the end of it. He said, so he gave that half a one, got brushed out of that. So he said, come on. And he taught us how to brush. We had to brush up, he had to be taught us how to brush up. So we got 4 of us in a bed. And there were big bays in the 70 shell. There was a wall there, and another wall there, and a great big wide bay. So now you'll laugh at this, and it's ridiculous, I know, because don't forget, the war had just started. It's shown us like, we get the handle of the brush like that, get it there in front of you, and we're in a line, I'm there, half the matter with the well-landed, another fella there, spread out like that, over this bay.
You gun to go.
So we brush like that, pushing the brush like that, and we pushed the brush like that, and we went 2 yards in front of us, and then we came back, where we began, say, with the mid-brush, I moved this much there, and I pushed 2 yards again until I came to where he was, but he'd be down there then, until we got the full bay covered, you know. And then, when we done that, then you seen a line of dirt, big line of dirt, full way of the bay, full length of the bay. And that's how we went until we got to the other end. And it was a long, great big bay, you know, great big place. It was from here to the end of that road, to that next road there. So we all brushed it to the end. And when we got to the end, so I said to Matty, I said, well, we better brush it in Eve now, get it in the thing. And then Paddy came and he said, that's not so bad. I said, where do we put all this rubbish? And I'm not telling no lies. He said, turn round and brush it back.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So I said, brush it back. He said, yeah. And he said, you keep doing that. He said, keep doing that until we get work. He said, but I've got to keep you working. If anybody comes in, you've got to be seen to be working. And of course, anybody come in, all they could see was dirt. You know, they didn't know we'd been pushing it. And we did that for a full week. We pushed that same dirt up and down.
Oh, they paid good money. They pay good money for that.
Oh, we got £0.50 an hour. And in the steel work, I was lifting heavy chains.
That's 12.5p.
I was lifting heavy chains for 2 bob an hour. We got 6pence an hour more for. It kept on for a week, and then after a week, you can have them now, can they?
Yeah.
Give the other lad it.
Leave it, guys.
And then after a week, they told us we could get it up, and then they started coming in, and the fellows were making a mess then, you know, and as they're making a mess, but
Is it David?
we're cleaning it all the time.
Right.
And we were cleaning it all the time when these fellas come in making a mess, you know, putting the conveyor system in. And then a chap come up and he said, he come up to me, he said, who are you? Like, I said, the name Palmer, David. He said, oh, and I said, well, I'm Mr. Jackson. He said, I'm the fire chief here. He said, so I've got to start a fire brigade part-time, as he said. So he said, you look lively. He said, you fancy it, I'll have you. He said, yes, Matty. He said, I'll have you. So he picked out of this building where we were, he picked 6 men. There was 4 buildings on the place. So he picked 6 out of these buildings. So we had 4 sets, you see. So when he came, he said, now, I'm coming for you. I think it was once a day, every day. And he took us on fire drill. And he told us about foam extinguishers, electrical extinguishers. And then he said that I'm going to get a pump you know, I'll be having a pump. So he said, I'll tell you about that when it comes. So I said, getting a pump, he said, it's called a climax. He said, you put the tube in the water. He told us a bit about it. So I said, oh, all right. So he told us all this. So he kept telling us every day for drills, running fire hose out, you know. So I went to the library and I got book out and fire equipment and all that. And I found out one on pumps. So when the pump arrived, he started telling us about this pump. And I knew all about it, because I read about it.
Yeah.
So he said, now do you want to have a go there? I said, oh, I know about this. He said, yeah. I said, yes. I said, oh, I know. He said, oh, right. He said, right, start it up. So I started it up. And I said to the lads, the other 5 men, right, connect the soles up here, connected it up, chuck it in a tank of water, and then we run the hose pipes out. And then when we run the hose pipe, I primed it, what I call primed it, and then brought suction on, and then lifted it up and said, right, the water's playing. Very good. So, we did that. We had that for about another 3 weeks. And then he said, he come one day, he said, now he's making a proper fire brigade. You proper fireman, not janitor. We were class janitor, and we had armbands on. And we got uniforms on this fireman. And he said, right, hey, leading fireman, I got. Reading about it a bit. So I got a leading fireman job. From 2 and 6 an hour, I jumped to 3 bob an hour.
Wow.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But it was all a twist, though, wasn't it? I got drafted down to Trafford Park. I was at Park, and I got moved to First Avenue in Trafford Park. And when I got there, I was on nights. I'm facing us in the street, in one of the streets called Third Street, I think it was, near the main gates. There was an hostelry, and there was 3 horses in there. And the carters used to put them there every night, like stables, you see. And this particular night, they bombed us in Trafford Park. The Germans bombed us, and they sent a lot of incendiaries. So we were watching our buildings, and we didn't get any on the building. They dropped in the roads, and they put them out, you know. And we weren't allowed to dash out until the aeroplane had gone. It says they dropped any more while we were out, you know, so we kept in. As soon as the planes flew away, we were out. Well, across the road, this stable had been hit. It was on fire. So I took 2 lads and dashed out, let the horses out. Just let them out in the sun.
Oh, yeah.
We let them out.
So alive.
Yeah. And then I went back and conducted the affair, like, you know. And then I got pulled up over the coals. Oh, I had to meet Steve Jackson and one of the big heads of the thing, you know. So.
Why is that for letting the horses down?
Yeah, but not for laying out, leaving the building.
Oh.
Said you left the building. He said. I said, well, I had to go across. I said the place was blazing. I said the horses.
Oh yeah, you did
so
the right
said, yes,
thing.
but you were the leading fireman. I don't mind you letting them out. You should have dedicated 2 men to it. See? You could have dedicated 2 men, let them out, or 1 man. But you must. You left it unprotected without the senior man who's supposed to know what he's doing.
In that situation, you don't always think.
I said, well, I was thinking of that. I said, we've got ours under control. I said, we were under control. All the assemblies were put out. I said, the only fire would have got it all. Yeah. In fact, I said, if our pipes would have led, I'd have gone out and put the fire out. I said, but our pipes wouldn't lead out there.
You did right, yeah.
So anyway, I got to tell him off, right? But that's all I did.
That's just red tape, no, isn't it?
Yeah.
You did the right thing.
I didn't.
Those horses would have died, wouldn't they?
I didn't lose anything from it, like, you know.
No.
But we got bombed one night. Oh, it was terrible bombing. And they cheered Alice up, the neighbours said, Trafford Park, fading away. And your husband's right in the middle of it, you know. And they bombing Trafford Park, you know. Bombing.
Oh, they would go for that, wouldn't they?
Well, My husband down there, he's working there, you know. Yeah, they was telling her how, you know, bombing it.
Yeah.
They bombed it to the ground, they said.
Yeah, I can remember my mother telling me and my mum and dad that when the bombs came over, they weren't heading for our part in Longside, they were heading for Trafford Park.
Oh,
But very often they let bombs go over Longside where we live. And, you know, they came quite close quite often. But they were I remember him saying they were after Trafford Park.
nearest they got to us, we were living in Lindeen Road then, nearest they got to us was in Northern, and they bombed 2 cottages right there in Northern.
Wasn't Fairies down there? Fairies Aviation?
No, not in there. In Northern, where it was not far from the river, you know, the canal, the river, the river Mersey there. And 2 cottages got it in Northern, and I just forget the name of the road. There's 2 cottages got pumped out, but there's nothing there. But Trafford Park, the comical when they hit Barn, they got information, you know, because Lord Haw said, we know about those 2 rolls of lino, you know. We used to call them 2 rolls of lino, you know. At that power station, they had 2 great big chimneys.
Oh.
And that, we used to come in on them. That was their landmark to come in.
Can't do much about that.
Yeah. And they said, we know you 2 rolls of lino, we'll be there tonight. They said that they were, Lord Haw, you know.
He was an Irishman, wasn't he? Yeah.
And they got information on all these buildings, you see. But they must have got ours wrong at that. Because they must have got east, west and south all wrong. Because they dropped bombs, and I was there at the time when they dropped them, and they went right down the roads. The road, big wide road there. And they never touched one of the buildings, 4 buildings there. And they missed all the buildings, they went down the road that way and that way. And there was 3 in this road, there was 2 in that, 1 in that and 1 in that. And all the 3 was big old craters, you know. In fact, we nearly run into one, you know, dashing out to put some fire after they got it, they went away. Put the company and lights on. We just had the lights in the car and saw this big hole in the ground and said, hey, great big hole there. So we shot down there, went on the glass furnace, you know, ran the glass furnace. And then off, and then we found them next morning. The gold craters.
Were you frightened or did you find it exciting?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
In fact, we were wondering if we could do any more, you know, there's some more to get into that.
Did you always know that we'd win?
Well,
yeah. I remember my dad telling me that. There was no doubt that.
We didn't think we'd lose, you know.
Yeah. Why do you reckon that was? Why do you think you're so confident?
Well, I think that Germans probably felt the same because they watched in every country.
Yeah.
In fact, I was reading the book yesterday, and I've just finished it actually, and it's all about World War II, it's spies, right, you know. And it's talking about how they went in. They had all 5th columnists in all these countries. Every country they went in, there was 5th columnists.
What's a 5th columnist?
Well, what they did, when they invaded, Norway was one. Before, this book is supposed to be more or less like it's supposed to be a lot of it's fiction and a lot of it's truth, you think. Because we all know all 5th columnists. Germany, they picked a load of beautiful girls. And they picked girls, say Norway, and they have family living in Germany or in places that they'd already gone. They picked these beautiful girls and they sent them into Norway to get in touch with all the heads of the fellas in top jobs.
Oh, prostitutes.
Whores.
High-class prostitutes.
High-class. And getting with all the top men, you see. And these men would marry, you see. And like blackmailing. And then get to know all what was happening in Norway, what arrangements it made, you know, for the war if it was coming to them, and then, you know, they got to know all the secrets.
Yeah.
And then when they invaded different places like that, And these fellas were saying, then they blackmailed them. They always do us, you see, these prostitutes, you see, with these prostitutes. And then when they were ready to invade, they moved the girls to another country. They moved them to Norway, Holland, Denmark, Bucharest. And there was all these top girls, you know, absolutely beautiful, they said they were. And then a lot of these girls, they weren't German, but they had brothers, and they said they killed the brothers out of the families, they didn't do it at all. And then some of the girls said, well, after a while, it got nothing to them, and they enjoyed it because they were living top, in the top. When nobody had food, they were lavishly entertained with all these fellas, you know. And they were getting money, clothes, what have you, you know.
So some of you alive today that did that.
Yeah, well, collaborators and stuff, you know. But it's fulfilling them all over, I think.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You're breaking the way through before you even come there, you know. Yeah, well, Louise part. Maginot Line, what the French built a line, what they call a Maginot Line. They had guns all pointing to where Germany could invade, you know. And they got to know all about it, and the wheat spot. And they couldn't pass around it. It was a magnificent place. But they found out, through these victims, they couldn't get around. They come at the back, and they couldn't smuggle the guns around. They made a mistake with the guns. They could only find one there. And it fell, the line fell. The line fell. Imagine how long it was, cost billions to build. It did nothing when the war came. It just bypassed it and ran it, couldn't get it back. That's how it was. He said another thing about Chamberlain, you know, in this book, about him being, he wasn't aggressive enough, he was a poor war leader, you know. But they said, what you've got to give him, he kept talking to the Germans, talking. And while he was talking, he got a 12-month stay, more or less, before they started invading. And while that was going on, they were building up here. And we had no armaments, no tanks or anything. And in the 12 months, we managed to get an army together. And that, even though he wasn't a war leader. And of course, after 12 months, when they got all the stuff, then they got Churchill. They had him out, you see, got Churchill. And it was Churchill who was the war leader. Who started thinking moving, you know.
No, drink coffee.
Oh, I have to have this.
Oh, do you prefer tea? Tea?
Tea. I'd rather tea. Would you? After me?
Oh.
I've just got to do too late.
I think it's still, as far as we know, 26th of March 1988. Can you remember anything about your parents, your grandparents?
No.
Not even names or what we did?
No, I can't remember a lot of lands. I think our Arthur's the best for that, you know. Yeah. You see, we had an uncle, and he worked in the mines, and he lived at West Orton. And this uncle of mine, he married one of my father's sister. My father had a sister, and my father, as far as I know, like, the only thing I know about my father, he lived at Dean Road, Bolton. I don't know idea. Dean Road, Bolton.
West Home, where?
Pardon?
Yeah, West
No,
Home.
Dean Road. That was in Bolton itself. And West Home was another little district next to it, and he had a sister in there and one in Dean Road. And when I was a young lad, sometimes I used to go on the bike. Now, when we went to Dean Road, I know her name was Anne, and when we got there, they were wealthy guys, because The name really come to me now. He was, her husband was a director of Bank Stallone, I think. Bank Stallone. He was one of the directors. And of course they were in the wealthy class. And when I used to go there, she didn't really like us going, you know. We went on a push car with one of my friends, you know, not half there, went on one of my friends. Right from Hardwick, right up to Bolton, you know. And we get there, and she come in, I said, come to see Auntie Anne, you know. Oh, that baby, nice to see you, you know, sit down. Have you had your tea, mate, too, about that too, you know, sit down. And she gave her a little cup of coffee and biscuits on a plate, you know, yeah, biscuits and that. And then we used to see her, and then we used to do that, and I do it about once a year. I went about 3 times, that's all.
So what, late 20s, early 30s? No.
That'll be,
it must be 30s, isn't it? Early 30s.
no, about 28.
Yeah.
About 28, after the, you know, it's after the
60 years.
27 to 28. And then we get me pal, I think Arthur Bradshaw, I think my pal was then. And we used to get the bikes and go to the other aunt, it was another sister he had, and I can't remember her name, lived at West Orton. And her husband was a miner, was the difference between Sharp and Dean. Come in there, get over your room, squeeze in, and my friend Arthur, you know. Come on in here, go in the kitchen, mug of tea, you know, big mug of tea, home baked, you know, scones and all that. And she had 2 sons, and the father was telling me, and he said they're going to school, and one of them was making aircraft then.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you used to make. Model aircraft, and they made a lot of show aircraft, fixtures, you know.
Yeah.
And he was clever. And he said, yeah, that's what he's going to do, Dave. He said, what are you going to do? I said, oh, I don't know. Probably go out in a shop or something. So he said, well, they're not going in the mine, he said. These two sons, they're not going in the mine. So I said, no. He said, now, I'll just tell you what I do. He said, I go down the hole like that, he said, and I crawl for half a mile on my hands and knees, and they have knee pads, you know the knee pads down there? Then I got them off the mine. He said, we crawl for half a mile, and then we can stand up. And then when we get there, that's when our time starts. Not for now they clock in, you know. You know, when they come in the mine now, they just clock in. And then they go and get changed when they go down the mine. And all that time, but he didn't get paid until he got in the mine. Ready to start hacking. And then he said they hacked then. So he said, none of these are running. None of these 2 left.
Which mine was that then?
Somewhere in West Orton. But he didn't have far to go because he was in a miner's cottage. It was a miner's cottage, is what they were in, you know. It was about 8 cottages, terraced houses, like, you know, in a line like that. And then when he'd come home, he'd have a van, big tub, showed me the big tub in the yard. He had a big tub, put it in front of the fireplace, full of water. That's how he used to do it when he come home. But now, they go there like gentlemen, they come out with herringbone suits on here, so they go in them. They have showers and baths and everything at the mines, you know. Because I went working on one with the Quillers, you know, we went working on one of these places for them. All tiles, all showers and everything for them. Come out of the mines into them, shower them, put the herringbone suit and put the dirty clothes in a locker. That's it now. Oh, 27, 28. But I look at my life, it's been hard, you know, it's been a rough life, but it's not been unhappy, it's been a happy life.
Oh, yeah.
But as I say, I think our Arthur remembers more than I do, more, you know.
Oh, so, yeah. When was the circus on? I think the circus will be on.
Football.
Let's see. See this on.
I get Eagle Eddie on me. Thought I'd go at the moment.
Eagle Eddie, yeah. Eddie Eagle. Yeah.
Eddie's Eagle. Not the busiest record. He had no record before he jumped. He had no jumper in that.
Yeah.
So he's bound to get the record.
What on earth is this? I thought it was this one.
It's a war picture.
It's a film, isn't it?
Yeah, 40 usually on one. So.
No, that's an advert. Might be. Oh, it is.
That's an advert.
They might have it before.
Tyres, that is.
Some up tyres, stickers.
It's a road.
4:30, it should be on by now.
When I worked in the clay pit, that was another one, for Jackson. I only was there a week.